Guess who got brands talking? Brandlive.co.za.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
You are now tuned.
If you have a request or shout out, hit us up live in the studio. And now your host.
Good morning and welcome back to Let's Talk Showbiz. I hope everyone had a lovely Christmas season and a happy new year. Welcome to the world of entertainment here in 2019. I'm your host, Nico Barnard, and joining me as always is the co-host, Shantae Raz.
What's up, everybody? And welcome back to episode 9 of season 1. I hope everyone had a fantastic break. We are excited to be back for the rest of the season and an exciting new year for the arts.
And if you missed our last episodes of 2018, be sure to check them out on Brand Live's website or our YouTube channel, and you can download the podcast to catch up.
Yes, and for other new listeners, be sure to follow our Facebook page at Let's Talk Showbiz, where we post updates and news of every episode to keep you in the loop of what's happening in our industry.
And feel free to tag us in your post to share any new and upcoming events in the industry. We would love to hear from you about South African industry and about the South African gems.
Just do it! Today we have a stunning guest artist in studio, Francois Olivier. So stay tuned to hear more about the celebrity photographer, graphic designer, and musician. Yes.
But before we dive into the special segment of the show, let's take a look at what's hot in the industry locally and internationally.
Yes. So let's kick off with the Golden Globes that happened this past week on the 7th of January. For those who didn't stay up to watch the award ceremony at 3 a.m., here is a summary of some of our favorites.
And Best Actor in a Drama Motion Picture goes to, drumroll, Rami Malek, that's right. And of course, winning Best Drama Motion Picture is Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yes! And you were like totally voting for that one, hey?
Of course.
Best Actress in Drama Motion Picture was awarded to the lovely Glenn Close for her role in The Wife. And Best Supporting Actress in a Motion Picture to the stunning Regina King for her role in If Biala Street Could Talk.
I was a bit bummed that they didn't win more awards. Bohemian Rhapsody. I have to go back there.
I think you're a little biased, though, I must say.
Yeah.
Because you're a Queen fanatic.
It's debatable.
It's debatable. Well, it's subjective. But I do think that the other people from different movies that did win their awards, that they were well deserved.
No, of course.
And
100%.
I guess it is also about taste. And because, I mean, Bohemian Rhapsody is, you know, based on loosely based on the true story. So it does put it 4 steps ahead. And if you're taking something that is a work of fiction, it's a little hard to judge.
No, of course. But isn't it so astonishing how almost none of the predictions of the Golden Globes actually came, like, a lot of the predictions that they made of who they thought were going to win didn't, which is amazing.
Well, yeah, I guess.
It just, surprise.
But hey, throwing back into the musical and comedy section.
So Best Actor in a Musical and Comedy was awarded to Christian Bale for his role in The Vice. And the Best Actress in a Musical or Comedy was awarded to Olivia Colman for her role in The Favourite.
Yes, and my total favourite, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Won by a landslide. Best Animated Feature Film. Go Spidey! Oh man, it was truly one of my favourite cinematic experiences last year, apart from A Star Is Born.
I haven't seen it.
The Spider-Man.
No. Hey,
Just do it.
Just do it. And speaking, I don't have time. That's the problem. But anyways, and speaking of A Star Is Born, the movie's theme song, Shallow, was actually awarded the best original song in a motion picture.
Yes! And like even Lady Gaga, she was so emotional about it. And you'd think after winning so many awards that she'd, just be like, okay, cool. But she was so thrown that someone else like spoke in the composers group. Did the thank you speech. And while Mary Poppins Returns was nominated for various awards, including Lin-Manuel Miranda, nominated for Best Actor in a Musical or Comedy, Miranda received his star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame end of 2018 prior to the Golden Globes, which was so huge for the Hamilton creator and star.
And I think beyond the Golden Globes, there are some exciting new films that's being launched in 2019 here in cinemas, which I am very, very excited about.
Yes, and not only for full feature films, but also some super exciting local and international film festivals happening throughout the year, including the Short and Sweet Film Festival that runs on the 18th to the 19th of January in Cape Town. So that's like really soon. So Cape Townians, aspiring filmmakers, and short film lovers, don't miss this.
And I think this year also has quite a bit of number of events, concerts and shows that's lined up with some international entertainment industry merging with South Africa, which is very, very
Yes,
exciting.
I mean, with international artists touring South Africa, including Ed Sheeran coming in March and Sam Smith in April.
And Imogen Heap.
Imogen Heap, what?
I know that our guest here in studio is very, very excited. Isn't that correct?
Yes.
They'll also be in South Africa for the first time in March.
Yeah, with Guy Sigwith.
Yes, at the Theatre at Monte Casino. So that will be one for the books.
Just do it. Oh, and then an artist I am personally extremely excited for, Lauryn Hill, known for her role in Sister Act 2, will be at the Ticket Pro Dome in Johannesburg celebrating the 20th anniversary of her award-winning album, The Miseducation of Miss Lauryn Hill. If your music vibe is a little bit of soul merged with some epic rapping, she is your ice-cold Coke on a baking summer's day.
And in a world where theatre meets music, Showtime Australia's Michael Jackson History Show has their last show in South Africa today. But fortunately, their ABBA show will land in South Africa theatres on the 18th of January.
Well, that's going to be exciting. Also, a heads up for those Disney fans. Disney on Ice presents a Magical Ice Festival. They will be in Johannesburg and Pretoria in June and Durban in July. Word has it that tickets are selling fast, so sure to get yours. Just do it.
And then there are a magnificent number of music festivals and South African music-related award ceremonies throughout the year. So, which we will need to keep an update with, you and I.
Yeah.
But for now, a heads up for the aspiring and established musos in South Africa. The entries for the SAMA, which is the South African Music Awards, 25 Music Awards, closes at the end of the month on the 31st of January. So be sure to finalize your entries.
Yes, and if it's the first time you're hearing about it, just be sure to research it. Just do it. You never know, you could be the next award-winning artist.
And also, just to add in there a very cool update that I just want to throw in there, talking about music. We're talking about music. One of our guests from last year, Josh Middleton, 16-year-old music ninja, he is going on tour in Europe in January. So we're very excited. Congratulations. And very excited for the little music ninja's aspiring and growing career.
So that will be like his second international break.
Yes.
That's super awesome. 16, right?
Yeah, 16.
Yeah. Lord have mercy. It's so awesome to see these young aspiring artists with such talent, and where some people might be demotivated being older and aspiring, it actually motivates me to go, if they can do it, I can do it. So that's just awesome. Take it home. And there you have it, our first session of What's Hot locally and internationally for 2019. Keep up to speed with your weekly dose of news and entertainment right here on Let's Talk Showbiz, every Friday from 11:30 to 12:30. You are also welcome to tag us at Let's Talk Showbiz on any media regarding industry gems and upcoming events.
Or you can just invite us to your premieres and events and productions as well. We're trying to constantly promote local entertainment in South Africa. Hashtag local empowerment, hashtag Mzansi for sure.
Yes, and also we would love to write reviews and about South Africa's industry and where it's going and everything, to keep in the loop, because what people don't always understand is that you can't just Google everything. You can't Google a movement of an industry, and that's why even if we don't necessarily can be at the event, we want to share it on our social media platforms, whether you are attending the event or part of the event or performing, whether it's media before the event's happening or during the performance. Just tag us, we'll share it, just to let everyone know what's going on. It's just so exciting to see it.
Yeah, we want to share the world of entertainment out there with our listeners, and we want to share the journeys and the highs of everything that is happening here in South Africa with our listeners. So yeah, be sure to send us your information. We would love to post it on our social media and tell our listeners what's going on out there to promote the local industry together.
Exactly.
Fantastic. We will be taking a short break, and when we return, we are diving into our second segment of the show with our guest here in studio, Francois. Remember, if you have any questions for us in the studio for our guest, you can inbox us on our Facebook page, which is at Let's Talk Showbiz. We'll be right back.
Just do it.
Harnessing the power of talk radio. Brandlive.co.za.
So, you ever thought about the power of social media? Social media has the power to make your business grow. Grow! Yeah. Why don't you let us manage your social media? Because our business is to see your business grow. Visit us at www.bstownmedia.co.za.
Making a bold statement yet blending into the surrounding suburbs of Melville, 27 Boxes is a realization of edgy design and practical implementation. A radical departure from the shopping malls of our generation, yet not a return to the high streets of our youth. 27 Boxes showcases the best of a shopping centre set in a garden, surrounded by the bohemian suburb that is Melville. 27 Boxes, shop, play, eat. Live from 27 Boxes in the heart of Melville. This is brandlive.co.za.
And welcome back. You are tuned in with us here at Let's Talk Showbiz. Joining us in studio today is the wonderful, incredibly talented Francois Olivier. Sorry. What's up, Francois?
What's up, guys?
Can you just say your surname? The two variations of it.
I guess so. For
audience.
Afrikaans people, it's usually Olivier. And for the English people, international people, I usually just say Olivier.
Olivier.
It's just easier that way.
Fancy. So, before we dive in, I actually just want to take a moment and ask, how's everyone doing and how was your Christmas season and, what did you get up to? What did
Me?
Yeah, everyone.
I went home for Christmas. That was great.
Have had fun? Had a good Christmas season?
Yeah. No, it was really good. It was lovely to see my family. I hadn't seen them in a while. And just your traditional, it was a very relaxed one for me, but it was your traditional Christmas family time where you just, celebrate the reason of it all, which is great.
And you? How was your season?
I also spent time with some family. We had our Christmas production, the Christmas Spectacular.
Yeah.
Which we had a lot of shows. Like in the past 7 years, we've had, you won't actually believe this, we had 99,720 people come to watch the show.
What?
So we had it at almost 12 different locations this year, which was amazing.
Awesome.
So
that's amazing,
that kept us
Did you at
real
least
busy.
take some like a break over December that you rest?
Yes, we did.
Well, I want to speak.
Yeah. Hey, what is it? What is rest? Can you eat it?
Yes. Famous quote by Nico Barnard.
Dun, dun, dun. Yes, and how was your Christmas?
My
You tell.
Christmas was good.
Was it
Productive.
It was productive, yes.
we sound so dread. It was amazing.
No, you know what
It's just we're such workaholics
No, but you know what
that
is-
we forget that we're supposed to be there.
I took off the 24th and the 25th and the 26th, okay?
I'm so proud of
The
you.
rest of the time I had to work. But you know what was weird this Christmas season? It didn't feel like Christmas to me this year. I don't know, it's probably just me, but the year went by like the flash. It was just it
Yes.
started and was gone, and then you wink and then it's Christmas, and it just didn't feel like
You know what?
Christmas to me.
I think that's actually a testament to the work that you are receiving at the moment.
Yeah.
Hush, hush. No spoils. But watch the space, because Nico Barnard, remember the name, is not just our talk show host, but much more to offer. So I think that's why it wasn't the full Christmas season for you, but let me just stop showing off.
Anyways, let's talk about Francois Olivier.
There we go.
He's here in studio with
Yes!
us, a man with many, many talents. Thank you so much for taking up time in your busy schedule to come through. We're so honored to have you.
Ivan me!
Francois, you are a celebrity photographer and designer, as titled by Media24. He is not only an internationally acclaimed and published photographer, but also the proud owner of Vocal Coaching SA and the Mode Post-Production House.
Yes. And Francois has also worked for the Bloss magazine since its launch in 2017 as the social editor and head photographer for covers and fashion shoots. And in 2018, he was appointed as the official creative director of the magazine, which is super cool.
Francois studied graphic design at the Academy of Fine Arts Institute in Pretoria under the world-renowned artist Ernest de Jong. That's correct, yes. And since his career launched, Francois has been honored to work with many artists and celebrities such as Carlien and Bobby van Jaarsveld, Lorica Rauch, Unita du Plessis, Steve Hofmeyer, Kurt Darren, Nicholas Lowe, Bok van Blark, Dewald Wasserval, Jewels Fantasties, Arno Jordan, Leonie May, Corlia Botha,
Yes.
Angelique Gerber, Amelia Ace, and many, many more.
Yo, I always thought you were about to mention all of them.
That is a mouthful.
And Francois works with local and international celebrities and brands to help create and hone their public image and also sculpt their marketing material used for advertisements, albums, and publications. He also has more than 18 years of experience in the fashion and modeling industry and more than 15 years of experience in the music industry as a corporate singer, theatre practitioner, vocal and music director, and vocal coach. Damn.
As a corporate singer, he has performed at numerous events, including the performance with the duo group Avia, that included singing at the International F2 Grand Prix, Top Model South Africa more than once, and singing at the Death World Cup rugby game between England and South Africa,
Wow.
where they sang the national anthem.
What? Ha! Oh, and his most celebrated theatre credits include the involvement in Backstreet's Back production, as well as an original South African musical written and directed by Dave Webster, The Queen of Sheba, a Christmas spectacular, and then also 7 Christmas spectacular shows with his church annually, which is aimed at reaching citizens in the light of ministry and hope.
And as a vocal coach, he mentors and teaches students ranging from young aspiring singers to church choirs and bands, and he's also the choir director for the Canta Libra Choir. He also works with the Sound Lounge Studios as a vocal coach and
Wow.
mentor, assisting and facilitating new artists in the recording process to give them an opportunity to get into the
That's
industry.
awesome. Yeah, and not only does he work with other artists daily, but Francois Olivier is also part of the Here Now worship band movement. Their first single, Grace, featuring Jessie Gray, was recently released and is available on most music platforms, so be sure to check that out. Just
And
do it.
then he is also busy recording his own solo album,
Yes!
soon to be expected.
Woo!
So there are some exciting things
About
to
time.
expect in the industry by this practitioner.
Yes.
Well, superb, excited, very, very excited to have him in the studio. Welcome, Francois.
Thank you. Well, you guys make it seem so much like you actually don't know what you're doing until somebody else tells you what
Tells
you're
you,
doing.
like,
Yeah.
and you know it's not
Do
even
it for the
fluff, it's
ego.
just facts. Like literally, that was the most summarized version of your career
Yeah,
ever.
I actually told Shante, please don't fluff it up. I don't like it when people fluff, and so.
But it's good to be, you know what, at the end of the day, it's so good for people to hear this, because it's good to be recognized for the work that you're doing in the industry, for you to be recognized as someone that are making an impact. So well
Ach,
done.
you know what, and also you reap what you sow. And I think you've put a lot of work in and the results are showing, and I think that's a testament to a lot of aspiring actors to just go, it doesn't just happen.
And musicians and
And
photographers
yes,
and
everyone.
fashion and vocal coach.
Anyone.
And-
I love how you're a jack of all trades and not a master of all, because you do master them all.
Yeah,
Thank
If that
you.
made sense.
it's kind of annoying. Just saying.
Cool. So,
But anyways, so Francois, also known as Frana by friends and colleagues, how long have you been a photographer?
Well, I have been a photographer since I was in grade 10. And which actually happened, I was at a modeling school and we owned a modeling school as well. And what happened was
another thing on that resume.
another thing on the resume, can you believe? So we owned a modeling school, and what happened was we had a photographer that we scheduled and we booked, and we had 38 portfolios scheduled in 2 days. And so the photographer did not pitch up. And so I just decided, well, what's in my hands? And I'm going to just be faithful with what is in my hands. And so I took the money that they paid for the photo shoots and I went and bought a camera and I started doing photography. And
Just like that.
And this was when? Year?
this
Grade
was,
10. What, 15 years ago?
this was about 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you haven't looked back since?
No, I haven't looked back since.
See, you know, great things come. Great things come when you take a leap of faith.
Absolutely.
That I've learned.
And I also believe that great things come when you fill the gap.
Yes.
Where there's a need.
Where there's
Fill
a need.
where there's a need.
Agreed.
Now, how did your journey as a photographer start? You told us now it started with the modeling and all of that. So you've been doing it for 15 years. So
Yes.
you also did graphic designing. So
Yeah.
what came first, the graphic designing or the photography?
Actually, the photography. So I've always had a passion for photography. Even as a small child, like I always said to my mom, like, I want to become a singer and a photographer. And everybody was just like, okay, yes, after you study. And so what I think is really awesome is that I'm actually allowed to do what I've been dreaming my whole life.
Yeah.
Because I actually studied graphic design as well as the at Ernst & Young, the Academy of Fine Arts. And what happened was, after that, I think I was so tired of designing, because that's all you do for 4 years every single day, and that I actually needed something new. And so one of my friends, Gerard Stein, he said to me, he wanted new photos for his album and for just some marketing. And so I said to him, okay, cool, let's do some photos. And so I took his photos, and then Huisgenoot got a hold of that, and yes, and then I opened up a studio in Pretoria North, Fusion Studios, which was huge. And then I had this lady come in, and she was like, no, she wants to do a photo shoot. And I always believe in like making every single person feel special, just being like good with what is in your hands.
Yeah.
And so I treated her as if she was the last client I will ever have. And so she came back, and she was actually the manager, one of the managing people for Nicholas Lowe. And so he came to me for a photo shoot. And then since there,
I've exploded.
Kickstarted. And yeah, it's
which is
never
ironic,
stopped.
because your career with the photography is so hand in hand with your graphic design. So
Yeah.
it's just really awesome that you
today.
have the foundation. Yeah, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so many people underestimate where they've been, and you never realize how much you're going to need it later. So
Absolutely.
it's cool.
Like I never thought that I was going to actually do graphic designing, but after a couple of years, I started doing not just the photos and taking the imagery, but actually designing the albums as well.
Yeah.
Which comes
And
very
so,
nice
yeah.
hand in hand.
Yes.
So you have worked with quite a number of established and upcoming artists. How has that experience been?
It is always amazing. I find it as a privilege. It's an honor. Every single person that you meet, not only those who are famous, but those who are infamous as well. It's an honor to work with them, because the average person touches a minimum of 100,000 people in their lives.
What?
And so if I can impact and just love on one person who will have
That person
impact
impacts
in other
someone
people's
else,
lives,
yeah. Yeah.
then I
It's
can
spreading
actually
it.
indirectly spread love
Yeah.
without touching all those people.
It's a-
And what is
So-
cool about it is that this aspiring artist, they can either make it or not make it at the end of the day, but they're honing their skills.
Yes.
And you are respecting them the same way you're respecting someone who's already, in a sense, made it, even though we never make it, but you get what I mean.
It's a
Absolutely.
So I just
butterfly
think that's
effect.
beautiful.
Absolutely.
It's a big butterfly effect. I mean,
Yes.
what you, it's again what you said, what you reap, what you sow, what you reap. And what I mean by it's a butterfly effect is every person's lives that you touch go out, and they go and like, I was inspired, I want to inspire other people. So it just ripples
Yes.
throughout, which is amazing.
It's
So,
awesome.
You told us now you've been working with all these fantastic artists, and it's good to work with these artists. You did the portrait photos for some of the artists for Afrikaans is Groot. You did the
Yes.
album covers for the top 2 finalists of the contract.
Yeah.
How was that experience for you?
It was absolutely amazing. Seeing as I love working with Kuleski artists, because they are they're actually such a huge company, and they basically the brand for some of the biggest artists that
Yeah.
we know
Yeah,
in South
definitely.
Africa. And what I love working with them is that they actually care for the people that work with them. So
I like that.
yes, which is amazing. So
It's a beautiful culture that they've developed, yeah.
absolutely. And like I love working with Johan, because Johan would come, and if we have a deadline, he would come and sit with me and design with me.
Is that
So
the other
as-
photographer?
No, Johan is actually one of the people that work for Kuleskis. Yeah,
Cool.
Johan Sefenter, he also sings.
Oh, right.
Amazing. And so, yeah, it was absolutely amazing, because I love working with Willem Botha as well, who takes the photos, the other photos. So I took Ivan's photos. And at the same time, Willem took Demi's photos, and then we all come together, and then
You designed the albums.
I design the
yeah.
albums, and I do the final touches of editing.
It was probably lovely to work with
yeah.
Ivan, because he's like a long-term friend, right? You were kind of there
Yes.
when he started the music
Yes,
scene.
we were there when he was not even singing yet. So like we've
That's
been friends for
awesome.
like almost 14 years now.
Oh, that's great.
And
So
just
it
like
was
I don't think he
amazing.
ever expected you, even though you guys were friends, you know, it's still a career.
Yeah.
I don't think he ever expected you to be his photographer, which is awesome.
Even like I also didn't
Ivan
expect
me.
it. Ivan.
Ivan, hey Ivan, shout out to you, brother.
Ivan.
Well done.
Yes.
He was on the verge of saying, even. I was
Ivan.
like waiting for that.
Yes, so congratulations, Ivan Roo, for your album launch and for making the top 2 finalists. Well done, man.
Cool. And South Africa's favorite songbird.
Oh yes, Corlia. She's busy with her new album, and word has it that you're
Yes.
working on it with the new album. Design, photos, shaping the new face of her music. Are you excited to work with her again?
Oh, I love Corlia. She is. I think she's one of the most underrated artists in South Africa.
Agreed.
She is phenomenal. And just working with her, her personality, everything she does is. She has a spirit of excellence in everything she does. So
That's
I
awesome.
love working with her because I also believe in excellence.
Yeah.
I don't believe in perfection, but I do believe in excellence. And so we
I
went
like
into
that.
the studio. We went into the studio and we did some shots for her. And now it's just finishing the album and then doing the whole design and stuff. So
That's
like it's
exciting.
actually such a cool process.
Were you actually at last year's Afrikaans Groot event?
No, I couldn't be because we
man.
had the Christmas spec. But
So she actually did
yeah.
with the other artist from I'll get back to that. But she did a cover and tribute cover to Barcelona.
Oh,
Was-
yeah.
And
Oh, what?
she was like, I stood there and I'm like, okay, let me just have grace, you know. It's a South African artist, and I knew she was good, but you know, like whatever.
Yeah.
It's like a song that has such a backing behind it that
Yes.
it's like a Whitney Houston. You either do it right or you don't do it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And she started singing, and I was like, okay, cool, it's going well. And there was a moment, it wasn't even the highest note part, because that only comes towards the end if you do it properly. It was a part where she was just totally going true operatic. And she had me at the edge of my seat, and I was just like, what? Like speechless.
She is brilliant.
And I was actually sitting next to my mother, and she literally looked at me because she's a fan of Queen, like beyond. Because she was like, oh, you know, like a Simon moment on X Factor. He's like, oh, they're doing that song. She literally went down, and she just went like this. And we were all, after that, whether the song was good or not, it's not my judgment, but every song was 100% excellent because we were so biased. We were like, yes!
But you know what I think what's amazing
amazing.
about her? She's so talented, yet she's still so humble.
Yeah.
She's still. And speaking about humble, how do you keep yourself grounded and humble as you are in an industry working with so many celebrities and successful people? I mean, it's not easy in this industry for people to get, you know, what I want to say, it is easy. It is
Yeah.
very easy for people to get caught up in the drama and the fame and
The
the fortune,
fortune.
you know, of everything that's happening. So how do you stay true to your roots and keep yourself grounded?
Well, that's such a good question. I think number one, having friends and a community around you that you aspire to be. So I surround myself with people that I want to become, so that in a world where it's so much about the fame and the fortune, that when I get home and when I get to my friends, it's actually people that are grounded. So I can only thank my friends for that. And then we have a rule in our friendships that it's actually honesty above friendship. So we love like brutal honesty, which just brings us down to earth, I think. And then I think like just staying connected in my local church as well, because serving, I've found that serving releases something that breaks pride. So actually my thought is never that I'm going into the industry or that I'm the best or that I'm this or that I'm that, because I know I'm not. There will always be somebody that's better than you. But accepting the fact that you're not the best and that you're actually there to lift up other people and to serve them, that is actually the thing, I think. And like that's actually what I did when I came to Bloss as well. I just said to Marti, who's the owner, she's amazing. So I said to her, Marti, I just feel like I need to serve you. And so that's how I became a part of that. So I just think it's lifting up other people.
And you
My
also have
vision
a
is,
pretty supporting family as well, which is great.
absolutely.
Which is
They
rare.
are
I think it's
amazing.
important to surround
Yeah.
you with people that are like-minded.
Yes.
You know, the people that are one, that understand you, and people that have the same morals and goals than you, because you, at the end of the day, I've learned something very valuable in my life, is that you become what you associate you with. If you're going to associate yourself with people that aren't, you become that. So it's great. It's amazing. It's good that you've got this very firm, group of friends and family that's surrounding you, that shares the same morals and goals than you, that's keeping you grounded. That's fantastic. That's really amazing.
And also, you're known to be quite a spiritual person, so obviously that plays a massive role in your direction of where you're going and what projects you do. But I want to touch on something else that you said about serving others. Okay, so just for context, me and Francois are actually in the same church.
Yeah.
And he and another guy called Warren, they both at different seasons said something which stuck with me forever. And ideally, it would be very amazing for it to also take an impact in the industry itself. So, like in the industry, how everyone just, tries to be better than everyone else because, it's a competition. Even if it isn't, it's a competition because we need to get out there, right? In church and many other churches and also business structures, there's a system where the leader's job is not to be the best. The leader's job is to make everyone beneath them better than them. And that is really tough to do because, your insecurities, your ambitions, everything plays a role no matter how humble you are. Yes. But what it taught me, even just watching this beautiful man sitting in front of me, is that if you are constantly working on yourself and then uplifting other people to be better than you, you automatically force yourself to up your game.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if you're always growing and the people around you are always growing, there's no way but up. So what happens with, obviously I'm stereotyping here, it's not the whole industry, but what happens with the competitiveness is that you have a zigzag situation with like a graph. This one's on top, then this one, then this one. But it almost stays like in a certain area because the industry can only grow as much as the best, right? But if everyone is growing, then it just explodes. And I've just seen in our church and also other business structures that use something similar, how fast-paced the whole community grows when they do it together. Yeah. It blows my mind.
Absolutely.
I mean, I'm just going to ask something. You play the keyboard.
Yes,
right?
Piano and keyboard.
Yes. Yeah. Could you just tell everyone about this testimony? Because it breaks my brain.
Okay, so what happened, I got to Hillsong, and I just wanted to serve, so I was actually just there to
join vocals,
to just join vocals, but actually not even sing.
Yeah.
So I even didn't want to even sing. So I was just there to just give some vocal training and just help out because I had such a heart and a passion for people that I know the worth of lifting other people up. Yeah. And so I just got to a point where I was just like, I just want to serve and I just want to lift people up. And so I got into the vocal group and I was sitting there the one day and they actually called me to stage and they were like, please come to stage. And I'm like, okay, why are they calling me to stage?
You're like, am I going to sing
And
now?
they were like, okay, so you're a vocal coach, right? I'm like, yeah. And they were like, do you know actually how to play piano? And I'm like, no. I have touched a piano, but it's like
I've never played it.
It's never like played it. And they were like, well, we need a piano player because we don't have a piano player.
And it's
so
urgent,
are you just going to be available? And I was just like, okay. And in my head I was just thinking, oh,
you crazy?
Lord,
yeah.
what am I doing? And so I just said to God in my head, okay, God, like I trust that like I'm going to just be available.
Yeah.
And someone said to me, one of our leaders said to me that God gives talents according to each's ability. And if you turn that around, if you gain the ability, God can give you the talent. And so I just went, okay, God, I'll do that. Exactly that, ditto. And so I, ditto. And I went to the piano and I just trusted that he's going to teach me. And so within 2 weeks, I was on stage playing. And within a month, I could play piano. Just revelations and stuff. So like...
And can I just say, it wasn't like your little chord moments, whatever. It was like stuff that takes years. We were all sitting there like, what? And actually, from other people who were there, it didn't take as long for him to decide. They literally said, are you available? Okay, sure. That was it. And they're like, okay, cool, he's gonna learn piano now.
I think in your head it's like a war, it's a battlefield. Yeah.
But it's just awesome. Whether you're spiritual or not, just this thing of when you're willing to give your yes, it already puts you 5 steps ahead. And I think that's amazing for aspiring artists. Never be intimidated by something that you aspire to be. Just start.
Yeah, and I also believe that like you can be exactly who you want to be. The only limit to you is your mindset or your perspective.
I agree with you 120%. I always say that the only person that stands in your way for success is yourself. That is definitely the...
Well, bringing back to our Q&A, you are known for your heart to uplift, encourage, and inspire others in your community and workplace, which is beautiful about your character. And I can also personally say that. And I don't think I've ever heard someone in the industry have something negative to say about you. You're like almost like the Hugh Jackman of photography and design world.
Maybe
you
you've
know?
not searched hard enough.
No, but I just mean, the truth,
you.
the reputation, the true part. It really overweighs any little whatever they might be, which I obviously haven't heard yet. And apart from your skill set, what do you believe is your role in your various communities and workplace?
Well, I've got such a passion for new artists and for young artists, and I believe that we've been taught skills to teach others. Because it helps nothing if you keep your skills to yourself and then you die with your skills. And then the industry is lacking because of that.
Yeah,
and so my heart is just to come in behind people and just lift them up and just serve them. And so in the industry itself, that would mean actually taking new artists and showing them what I wasn't shown, that I had to take years to actually learn.
You're not being stingy with your education is
I
great.
think that's ideal. I just wish more people would think that way.
But you know what? I really believe that our industry, it already has started taking a shift.
It
A
has.
natural shift without
Absolutely.
someone having to tell them, just be kind,
Yes.
And like, I'm not saying any of this stuff to put you on a pedestal, because you just, if you do the work, it shows. It's more just factual stuff, because if that's who you are, that's awesome. You know what I mean? And I also feel like it's not just the way you're helping artists, aspiring artists. It's also in the way that you address people, whether it's the coffee person or whether it's, you know what I mean, the assistant who's helping you with the photography or anything like that, or even just your client. I don't know. It's like I want to be around you sometimes in the workplace, purely because I don't actually know how to explain it. It's just good to work with you. It's not effort. It's you meet us halfway.
Yeah, I think it comes
Thank
down
you.
back to the thing again. You become what you associate with. So you give off a positive energy. You come.
You give
across
more than you have to. I think that's what it is.
And you come across as this
Which is
person.
nice.
You come across as this person that's so positive and so vibrant and ambitious that when people are around you, they're like, okay, let's do it. I'm
I can do
excited.
it.
And I think it's also you're not stingy with what you give. Like, again, not to glorify you in any way, but it's just because I've known you for quite a while now. It's more like
Years.
there's so many people, even myself in the past, where you say you're gonna give this and then you give to that dot, and you're like, okay, I'm done. You're just like, it's not gonna hurt you to be kind. It's not gonna hurt you to pick up someone's chair when it falls down. It's not going to hurt you to tell your assistant, oh, let me show you this, even though this is not why you're here, so they can learn from you. And I just think that's great. And I also feel like the reputation you have in the industry is not necessarily a testament about your success and achievements, even though you have quite a few, but instead the hope you inspire through the people by simply being kind or praying for someone or helping when they struggle and being willing to ask people how they are, before work starts. Like, that's huge. It sounds so basic, but it's not when you're running around and just surviving. To actually go, hey dude, how are you? Are you good? Oh, you're not? Okay, let's have a coffee later. Oh, you're good? Okay, let's do the work. It's just, that's awesome, and which I think is honorable. And I hope this, which has become quite natural to you in your lifestyle habit, that you never lose it, because we underestimate the power actions have to change the people around us, who in turn change and impact the people around them, like you said.
Amen. You know what I believe is that when I got into the industry, it was almost like fist fights, like, because people are so scared of losing ground. People are so scared of losing ground. Or actually giving somebody else the chance to.
But they don't realize that person might be the reason they might take 4 steps forward. Or
So when
it's not going to hurt you.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
So when I got in, I was literally, I felt like hectic. It is so hard to get into the artist industry. It is so hard to get, and even more harder to get into the media industry. And I just felt like I wish somebody would be nice to me.
So you started being nice to
And so
someone.
I just said, I'm never going to be the one that's actually those people that
Yeah.
that did that to me.
Which is true.
And so I've just decided that if I can encourage one person just by actually making them feel that they're worth something, then that's enough. I don't have to achieve many things, but my goal is for others to achieve many things. So yeah.
Fantastic. So, I wish there's so much to talk
Yeah,
about,
there's
and
so
we're
much
running
to
out of
talk
time.
about.
Now, your band has recently launched a new single titled Grace,
Yes.
which is in fact a stunning song. We're gonna play a sneak peek here. Have a listen to it quick.
Oh, nothing compares to the promise you chose. Amidst all my sin, you called me your own. And even though I failed, still your love fought for me. And even though I ran, you chased me down. Now I'm found. This is amazing grace. This price you paid to bring me home.
Wow. For our listeners out there, go download the song. It's available on most music platforms. Just do it.
It's a beautiful, beautiful song. Now, how was the writing process and composing the song? I mean, you also did Here Now. How did the Here Now worship band come together? And who is everyone that's involved in this band?
Okay, so first off, we're a bunch of people that are not just in South Africa. So we're a bunch of people that are all over, scattered together
What?
in one group, which makes it amazing. So JC wrote this song, and me and JC, we actually did the internship at Hillsong together, and so what happened was he sent me this song, because we usually send each other songs or lyrics, and then we ask, hey, how can I improve this? Hey, how can I improve this? And then we sat with this song, and I just felt like, wow, this is beautiful. Like there's such an anointing on this song. And what happened was a couple of weeks earlier, my other friend, Lawrence, he went to New York, and as he was standing in New York in Times Square, God said to him, are you willing to worship me here and now? And he was like, oh, yes, Lord, I am. And God said to him, then start singing in Times Square, where there's like hundreds and thousands of people like just walking past him. And he was like, no, not now. And God said to me, God said to him, like, no, I need you to worship me here and now.
Wow.
And so he just started singing What a Beautiful Name. And as he sang it, something broke off him,
Which is cool.
and some people started singing with him.
Yo, I'm getting goosebumps.
And what happened was, in the plane on his way back to South Africa, he just felt like that is such a beautiful message, to be in the here and now.
So that's how the title came.
And that's how the title also
Oh,
came,
that's
like
amazing.
here and now. Because
wow.
everything happens here and now. You cannot change
So
the
being
past.
present.
You cannot change the future, but you can change the
What you're doing
present
now.
to change the future.
What?
And so that's how we actually started. And then he asked me, hey, do you want to be a part of this? And I was like, yeah, cool. And he's like, well, we
Yeah,
need
let's
people
do
to
it.
write. And then I was like, hey, so JC just sent me this song. And
Hey.
so we have people from all over, even some of the people that write for Elevation Worship
Mm-hmm.
are now part of us. And yeah, so like we've got an amazing team.
That's awesome. That's amazing. Yeah.
Now, guys, you can go and get this song on the music platforms. You also released another single in 2016 prior to Here Now, worship titled Touched by Grace. Let's give a listen, shall we? A sneak peek of Francois' vocals and composition. We'll be taking
His
a quick
personal debut.
his personal debut. We're going to take a quick break, and here in the break, we will be listening to Touched by Grace. We'll be right back.
Harnessing the power of talk radio. brandlive.co.za.
Deep calls a day when I'm drowning underneath. The waves come crashing in on me. By day a song, by night the sound of your waterfall. Rise up, my soul and sing. I've been touched by grace. I've seen your face. I've been touched by grace. Now I live. You called me out from a life I once belonged to. Your love comes crashing over me. By day you'll sing, by night there's nothing I can feel. Arise, my soul, arise and sing. I've been touched by grace. I've seen your face. I've been touched by grace. Now I live.
And welcome back to episode 9 of Let's Talk Showbiz with our guest Francois. You have just heard his amazing single Touched by Grace.
Okay, so hearing that amazing vocals.
It's intense, eh?
What?
You're like, what?
How long have you been singing?
I've actually been singing all my life. My whole family
Since
sings.
you were one?
It's like since I was like 1.5.
Since you were in the womb? Your
Since I
entire
was
life.
like physically in the womb. So my whole family
Lol.
sing. Everybody sings in my family. I think except my eldest brother. But I've had vocal training for 21 years. And I've been giving vocal training for almost 15 years almost as well.
Do you still do your own vocal training apart from performance rehearsals?
Yes, every single day.
That's important. Yes.
Y'all heard it here first.
You heard it. You got it straight from the horse's mouth.
You'll
The
never
horse.
stop growing.
Just do it.
Okay, so tell us, Frana, being a vocal coach yourself and an artist yourself, what advice would you give to aspiring singers?
You're never it. You are never it, and you will always learn. There will always be somebody better than you. And the sooner you grasp that you will never reach the highest level
Like
of
you'll never arrive, yeah.
arriving. Yes, yeah, you will never arrive. So the journey is the destination.
I love that.
So
I love that. In launching your own vocal academy, Vocal Coaching SA, you've been a part of countless more productions, performing yourself and operating as the music, vocal and creative director of some of these productions.
So tell us more about the duties of a music or vocal director before and during a performance.
okay, so those vastly different things. Music director usually does the scoring and the composing of all the songs, as well as the band scoring for that. And then then it goes to the vocal director, which actually does the harmonies, teaches the harmonies and the techniques and everything that is basically needed. Even like characteristics of things. So say if we do musicals or if we do musicals or productions, stage productions, you would teach them certain characteristics of the character that they're actually singing.
Yeah.
So it's basically teaching them how to be that character, getting into that character.
And a musical director on stage?
And a musical director on stage is basically directs the whole band.
Hectic. So
Yeah,
you're like
so-
almost like...
Yes.
Conductor!
Almost like the conductor with the little...
It is
Little
basically
talkie.
like a conductor. So
Through
what
an
the music
earpiece.
director basically does is the music director knows all the parts for all the instruments. And so while busy playing, watching what happens and being able to sculpt the music while you're going. Yeah, to actually make room for errors and to also just fly past them instead of making train smashes.
Now, you also worked for Sound Lounge Studios. What was your role and the aim of the recording company?
So I work with them, which
With
is
them.
yes, yeah.
With-
So Sound Lounge is an amazing group of people that aim to actually uplift new artists. So what Sound Lounge actually does is they with Kuleski artists as well,
Okay, perfect.
and what they do is we scout for new artists and then we help them create a brand. We help them write songs, record songs, and actually get their whole image and CDs and everything out there without charging them, so that we can. Okay, so we actually make our money like alongside the road.
Yeah.
But our aim is not the money.
Yeah.
Our aim is actually getting new artists heard.
So it's almost like an uplifting platform.
Absolutely.
That's
Love
amazing.
that. I really love that.
Okay, and on a side note, you have also done quite a bit of broadcasting and voiceover work for adverts and websites. Could we get a spontaneous demonstration?
Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome.
I just think
Everything just got very quiet in this room.
it's amazing. I just think I got my new voiceover artist for the promos for something.
There we go.
One desire.
No, can you just do the WWE thing?
Oh, WWE smack it down.
Okay. Okay, and apart from the arts industry, you have also been involved in a massive amount of charity work or projects and ministry-related outreaches and passion projects throughout your career. If I'm not mistaken, you're currently focused on one charity at the moment, a safe house called Our Home, a home of refuge and restoration for survivors of trafficking circumstances. Can you tell us more about this and how you got involved?
Absolutely. So, my passion is broken people because we're all broken. So I feel that we usually throw away the people that are too broken, and we look past those people that we can actually help and love. And so my motto is just loving people.
That's awesome.
And so I came across this ministry where Vilna Buddy, she has a house where she literally goes onto the street and she gets people out of human trafficking and human slavery. And then what she does is she doesn't put them in a house of safety, because we don't realize that those people don't need safety. Because their ideals and their morals and their ethics have been sculpted and twisted so much that all
For
they
something
need
else,
is love. And to them, they've been treated their whole lives since one of them, like I can think of, like was sold at the age of 4, and the other one at the age of 7. And so their moral standards have been sculpted
Differently.
as slaves. So they don't know what love is, because love to them is people shouting at them or somebody hitting them.
So
And
not
so-
a place of safety, but a home.
Yes, so that's why it's called Our Home.
It's beautiful.
I want a home.
Yes, so they want belonging.
I love that. That's
And
special.
so what she does is she stays with them in a lifestyle, teaching them how to actually change
And how
and
to
feel
live.
worth.
How
Yes.
to live.
So I get really passionate about this
Oh,
because
amazing.
they're amazing people, and I have never met people that are so passionate about life
Yeah.
because they almost did not have life.
You know what I love is that her nickname is Mama V.
Yes.
And it's not like she's just, the head of the house. She becomes their mom.
Yeah.
And I just think that's awesome.
It is absolutely
beautiful.
amazing. Like, she goes onto the street, and even those people that are still, like, even the pimps and everybody calls her Mama V, because they're all looking for yearning, like
and
that yearning
belonging
for
and
that
acceptance
belonging. And I think that that's such a beautiful lesson to me, because we often think that we only love those who are lovable, but even those who are deemed not lovable, they're actually yearning for more love than we expect. So.
Now, Francois, it's been so amazing having you here. What is next for you in 2019? What is next? What else are you going to add on that resume?
Okay, well, so a couple of things. So we're launching Bloss Africa, the magazine, as well as Bloss.
So it's another one.
It's another one, yes.
Hectic.
And then it's going to be absolutely amazing. So watch out for that. So this year I'm also launching courses. Photoshop master courses and editing courses for photographers, and just to upskill the industry, as well as I'm also launching my personal album,
Yes.
which is going to be amazing. And then here now we're also going into recording studios to do our album, because in 2020 we're doing our American tour of the whole America. And then I am launching Unicorn Brand, which is basically a clothing brand, but it is for men mainly.
Not cute and fluffy.
It's not like cute and fluffy. It's like
It's a cute and fluffy. I
hipster,
can die.
raggedy type of
Oh,
vibe.
exciting. You've got so much coming up.
Wow.
So that concludes our interview with our amazing guest, Francois Olivier, here. And now we're going to head into our last segment of the show. Before we wrap it up, we're going to play our favorite game called Oh Snap.
Oh snap!
For those first-time listeners, every week our guests participate in a little game where we throw random words at them for 60 seconds, and they have to answer with a relevant word as quick as possible.
Guests have to answer as many as they can in 60 seconds, and yes, we have a scoreboard. At the end of the season, the guest with the highest score will receive an exclusive Let's Talk Showbiz hamper.
Now remember, you cannot say pass. You have to answer. If you answer wrong, so if you say something that's irrelevant to the word, or you take longer than 3 or 5 seconds to answer, the word falls out and you lose a point. And you will be interrupted by...
Oh snap! Let's demonstrate.
It will be something like Christmas,
Tree.
fruitcake,
Dessert.
Starbucks.
Coffee.
Okay, so we give you words and you just respond.
Thanks goodness you actually explained it to me. I was like, what is happening? Okay, cool.
Cool.
Okay,
You
ready, set the time, and 3, 2, 1, go.
Color.
Blue.
Favorite food.
Elastic.
Film.
Sound of Music.
Water.
Blue.
Fruit.
Peach.
Animal.
Elephant.
Book.
Bible.
Cold.
Hot.
Toothbrush.
Clean.
Animation.
Nemo.
Planet.
Earth.
Favorite film. Board game,
Greatest
sorry.
Showman.
Okay, great. Board game.
Monopoly.
Favorite season. Winter, spring, summer.
Oh, it's winter.
Okay, cool. And that's a wrap? Oh, still, last meal you had.
Food.
Superhero.
Superman.
Instrument.
Piano.
New York.
Tower.
Sport.
Cricket.
Table Mountain.
Flat.
TV series.
Oh snap, time's up.
Cool, well done. Wow. And that concludes our episode for today. Thank you so much, Francois, for joining us in studio today. I really feel like you're such a beautifully all-rounded practitioner in our field, touching on various scopes of the industry. And it has been such a privilege to have you on the show, learn from you, and hear about your career and life adventures. # watch this space.
And for everyone out there, you can go and follow Frana on Instagram at Francois Olivier and on Facebook at Francois Olivier Photography to keep up to date with all of his photography work and everything else.
And also at HN_worship to follow and keep up to date with his band's single releases and more. # just do it.
And like we said, we are doing the scoreboard for all of our guests, and at the end of the season, the guest with the highest score will get a hamper, the Let's Talk Showbiz hamper. And just to put it out there, we will be coming to an end for season 1, end of January. Very excited, as we will then be stepping into a new season 2 here at Let's Talk Showbiz that will be launching in February.
Oh, no.
Cool. Tune in next week to hear all about the great adventures of industry scopes for our new guest. Who will it be?
Who will it be? Dum dum dum. And that's all we have got today for Let's Talk Showbiz. It's a good life. Don't forget to do what you love and love what you do. Tune in next Friday at 11:30. Keep it real and slay.
Cheers.
Bye.
Live from 27 Boxes in the heart of Melville. This is brandlive.co.za.